Hello, I am Dave, and I'm going to present to you the Diplomacy League of this competition. So Diplomacy is a game for 7 players. It's entirely deterministic because there are no dice or other forms of randomness, and the players need to form coalitions and negotiate with each other in order to be able to win. So the game takes place on a map of Europe in 1901. This map is divided into provinces, and each player has a number of armies and fleets that can move across the map and conquer those provinces. And the goal of the game is to conquer more than half of the so-called supply centers in the map. Now, each round, before the players make their moves, they have the opportunity to negotiate with each other in private. And typical examples of such agreements would be like 2 players agreeing that neither of them will invade the Black Sea, or 1 player proposing to the other, if you help me to attack Belgium in this turn, then I will help you attack London in the next turn. And this game is really interesting for negotiations research because utility is only defined in an indirect manner. So making an agreement influences your moves, and then these moves will in the end influence the outcome of the game. So you cannot really assign a utility function directly to the agreements. And this makes calculating or estimating utility values a really hard problem. So let me talk about the competition setup now. So we, for the negotiation protocol, we use the so-called unrestricted negotiation protocol. This is a protocol in which each proposal may involve any number of agents. So it's not just 2 agents or all the agents, but it can be any subset of the agents. Also, it's a protocol which is not a turn-taking protocol. So each agent can make or accept proposals whenever it wants. And then there's a special notary agent that listens to the negotiations and keeps track of them. And as soon as all the agents involved in a proposal have accepted it, the notary agent will send a confirmation message to all those agents involved in it to officially confirm it, and from that moment it's considered officially binding. So we have asked the participants to implement a negotiation algorithm on top of an existing diplomacy playing agent called dbrain. And whenever the players make an agreement with each other, then this dbrain agent will automatically select the best moves consistent with those agreements. So we had 5 participants, although one of those participants was not a serious submission because it was a completely random negotiator, and moreover the implementation was like 99% equal to an example implementation that I provided to the participants, so we cannot really take that one serious. So we decided to let each game continue for no more than 40 rounds, and after 40 rounds we would automatically declare a draw, and then we'd assign points to each agent. If one agent achieves a solo victory, that agent would receive 12 points and 0 points for all the other agents. Or if it's a draw between 2 players, then those 2 players would receive 6 points, etc. And as a tiebreaker, we use the number of supply centers conquered by each agent. So in the initial competition, the initial run of the competition, we had 5 participating agents playing together with 2 instances of the non-negotiating dbrain agent, and then we let them play 50 games, and then count the points for each player. Unfortunately, the results were really disappointing because it turned out that no player was really better than any of the other players. So we didn't really achieve any result. So then we tried another competition setup in which we had, in which for each agent we played 50 games with 4 instances of that agent against 3 instances of deep brain. So the idea is here that we have 4 instances of the same agent negotiating with each other, because we thought it might be easier for an agent to negotiate with a copy of itself rather than to negotiate with a completely different agent. But again, in this case, we didn't find any agent playing significantly better than any other agent. So again, we could not really proclaim any winner. So then we tried a third attempt. In this case, for each agent, again, we had 4 instances of that agent negotiating, plus 3 instances of another agent called the dumbbot. The dumbbot is also a non-negotiating agent. And the idea is here that since the dumbbot is a weaker agent than the deep brain, perhaps the negotiating agents would be stronger, because their negotiations would have a stronger effect. But even in this attempt, again, no player was really better than any other player. So yeah, again, it didn't work. So then finally, we decided to do it in a different way. We went back to our original setup with the 5 agents, the 5 participants all playing together with each other, plus 2 instances of the non-negotiating deep brain agent. But in this case, we did not look at the final results of the games, but instead we would simply count how many proposals each agent made and how many of those were accepted by all the other agents. And the idea here is that, well, if the agreements don't have any effect on the outcome of the game, or not a strong enough effect, then we need another way of measuring the quality of negotiations. And as such a measure, we decided that we can consider a proposal to be good if the other agents involved in it actually are willing to accept it. And that in that way, we really indeed found one player to be much better than the others. Well, actually, we had 2 players clearly performing better than the others. So we had a clear winner and a clear runner-up. However, we have to take note that there's no real evidence that any of the proposals made was really good. So we just assume they are good because the other agents were willing to accept it. So here I have indicated the 2 finalists with agent X and agent Y, so that I will not yet spoil the final outcome of the competition. So we will announce the winner and the runner-up later. So here in this table we see the results. We have in the first column the number of proposals made by each agent that were accepted by the others. So we see that agent X made 343 proposals that were agreed by all the other agents. Now, because our negotiator, as I explained, is a completely random negotiator, we thought that maybe its presence would be a bit unfair, because it accepts any kind of proposal, or it decides randomly whether to accept any proposal. So to compensate for that, we also recorded how many proposals were accepted which did not involve the R negotiator, and we see that we achieved the same results, the same agent being first and the same agent being second, etc. And then, to be entirely sure, we run the same tournament again, but this time without the R negotiator playing at all, and again recorded the results in column C. And again, we have exactly the same order of agents, so we can be confident that this is the true outcome. So thank you very much for your attention, and yeah, please, for more information, you can contact me by email or visit my website. Thank you very much.